He didn't just change science. He changed how we see everything. Time, space, even the meaning of reality itself. This is the story of Albert Einstein, the man who proved that imagination can reshape the universe. They say time moves the same for everyone. But Einstein never believed that. To him, time could stretch, bend, or even stop, and so could destiny. But before he became a genius, before the world called him a revolutionary, he was just a quiet, curious boy who couldn't stand rules. Born in 1879 in Ulm, Germany, Albert Einstein didn't speak fluently until he was almost 4 years old. His teachers called him lazy. They said he would never amount to anything. But inside his mind, something extraordinary was forming. A new way of seeing the world. While others memorized facts, Albert asked questions no one could answer. He'd stare at light, wondering, what if I could chase it? And that question would change the world forever. As a teenager, Einstein was restless. He hated strict schooling, so he taught himself. Math, physics, philosophy. Anything that could explain the mystery of existence. But understanding the universe came with a price. He didn't fit in. He felt isolated, misunderstood, and constantly out of place. He failed his first university entrance exam. He couldn't get a teaching job after graduating. He ended up working at a patent office in Switzerland, reviewing other people's inventions. But what no one knew was that in that quiet office, surrounded by ticking clocks and blueprints, Einstein was about to rewrite reality. Every day, he looked at designs for machines that measured time and energy. And one day, an idea struck him. What if time wasn't constant? What if it depended on how fast you were moving through space? It was a thought so radical, so unthinkable, that it shattered everything physics believed to be true. In 1905, he published 4 papers that would later be called his Annus Mirabilis, his miracle year. One of them described something the world had never seen before, the theory of special relativity. It said that space and time were connected, like threads of the same fabric, and that light always travels at the same speed, no matter where you are. It meant that time could stretch, clocks could slow down, and distances could shrink depending on how you moved. Reality was no longer fixed, it was flexible. Scientists were stunned, some laughed at him, others said he was insane, but a few realized he had just changed everything. Soon, his ideas spread like wildfire. He became a celebrity, a rock star of science. But Einstein didn't care about fame. He cared about truth. He kept working, obsessively, sleeping only a few hours a night, and 10 years later, he unveiled a new theory, one that would redefine gravity itself, general relativity. It said that gravity wasn't an invisible force pulling objects together. It was space itself, bending under the weight of matter. Planets didn't orbit because they were pulled. They orbited because they were falling along the curves of space-time. To prove it, he made a prediction. During a solar eclipse, light from distant stars would bend as it passed near the sun. In 1919, scientists tested it, and it worked. Einstein's name flashed across headlines around the world. Revolution in science, Newton out, Einstein in. Overnight, the quiet patent clerk became the most famous scientist alive. But fame didn't bring him peace. He hated the attention. He was more philosopher than physicist, a dreamer trapped in the spotlight. When asked about his genius, he said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." Behind his smile, he worried deeply about humanity. As the world rushed toward war, his equations were twisted into weapons. His ideas paved the way for nuclear energy and for the atomic bomb. He was horrified. He once said, "If I had known, I would have become a watchmaker." Einstein spent the rest of his life fighting for peace, speaking out against violence, racism, and oppression. He was a scientist, but also a moral voice, one who believed that knowledge without compassion was dangerous. Even in his old age, he never stopped questioning. He kept searching for a unified theory, something that could explain everything from atoms to galaxies, but he never found it. And maybe that was the point. Einstein didn't want final answers. He wanted questions that made us feel alive. He once said, the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. When he died in 1955, his brain was secretly removed for study, as if people hoped to find the source of his genius inside the folds of his mind. But maybe his brilliance wasn't in his brain. Maybe it was in his perspective, the way he dared to see the world differently. Einstein changed the world not just with math and physics, but with imagination, the courage to dream beyond the limits of reason. He proved that reality isn't fixed, it's what we make of it. And in that sense, he didn't just change science, he changed humanity itself. Because in the end, Albert Einstein didn't want to be remembered as a genius. He wanted to be remembered as a man who never stopped wondering.